Commendatore! Welcome back. I hope this isn't your first time here on the show or on the Not Sam YouTube channel.
Yes, but it certainly isn't most of your first time at Sam Trioli's.
I would hope it's not your first time at Sam Trioli's. If so, go back on the channel. Find all our other visits to Sam Trioli's. Because here at Sam Trioli's, we go on a journey. Episode by episode, through a little television series called The Sopranos.
Yes.
And for incredible comedian Ian Fidance.
Thank you.
This is his first time watching the show. Or his Prima Volta. Yes.
And I will say, at Hilarities, Cleveland, Ohio, July 22nd, 23rd, that's not my Prima Volta there. I've been there before, but this is my first time. This is my Prima Volta headlining. That's right. So come out, see me. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty fucking good at what I do. So, commendatories, I love seeing you out. Thank you very much. Let's get into this sode, because this one
July 22nd, 23rd was yesterday.
Thank you guys for coming out to the show. Appreciate it very much. Oh my God, it was great to see all the commendatories there.
Maybe we'll just put the beginning of this show out as a clip before it airs.
Make sure you come up and say hi. Give me a fat envelope. And make sure we do the hands. And maybe we'll go out and get some pasta visual.
And it was yesterday.
Thank you for the pasta visual. Thank you for the envelopes. You guys are the best. We love you. Leave a commendatory and mention what we talked about yesterday.
So, of course, last week, you're having what? This is a new thing with you and that microphone.
Know
the last
why
like 3 weeks.
Does this? It's you. No. I don't need your help.
I'm going to tell you right now.
What?
Do you know who uses these mic arms?
Who? Hot Dog.
Joe Rogan uses the same mic.
Oh, I thought you meant these exact ones.
Hot Dog uses that one.
Yeah. And I wonder why it's not fucking working.
Did he get his hot dog jizz on there? Look.
I got it. I got it.
No, you don't. Look.
I know, but I like to do this.
Why are you doing it?
Because I got it. Things are fine.
Season 5, episode 9
Sure.
of The Sopranos. It is called Unidentified Black Males. I was going through the show because I thought it might be a play on words. Is there any black male on the show?
Oh my God.
Because that's what I was thinking.
Whoa.
And maybe Finn could have some blackmail over Vito?
Wow. But you'd never catch Vito with a black male.
No.
Whoa, you're right. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that was my...
That's interesting that they didn't say unidentifiable black male, MAILs.
Well, no, I mean, I think they didn't have to hit the nail directly on the head. Close.
That'd be nice.
I mean, if there is no double entendre, the single entendre would, of course, be that Tony B, at the very beginning of the episode, blames his limp when he sees Tony S, who is at home after post-coitus, a couple of days or whatever, maybe a day removed.
And like a fucking scumbag, he shows up to the house, doesn't say hi.
Well,
Carm is giddy about... Sorry. Okay, sorry.
I told you last week this would happen.
A lot of racism in this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of racism.
Yeah.
Well,
they hadn't done it for a while, and they're like, oh, we got to meet quota. Jam it into one episode.
Well, there was so much homophobia last week.
You're right.
That they were like, we got to queue up some racism for this week, and they did.
Wait, what's homophobic? Oh, Dr. Fisher. Oh,
yeah, yep.
Oh.
Yep.
That was good old-fashioned fun.
Tony B blames his foot and the fact that he's limping.
On the brothers.
Yeah, he says he was attacked by some black men that he can't identify.
Well, we can't identify the word that he used.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't. That's not for me to say. I would never do that.
No.
But yes,
I will say,
go ahead.
This becomes like a thread throughout the episode. It's like their get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
It's like they just say this and everyone's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, like,
they did it at the construction site.
That's what happens. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, New Jersey seems like a terrible place.
I know. My God. Location for real estate. Fucking move around, fellas.
But yeah, so Tony seems to buy his excuse in the beginning that he was attacked or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then the shit hits a fan.
On the golf course?
I don't remember what happened on the golf course.
Well, on the golf course is where Tony has the panic attack.
Yeah, why did he have that panic attack?
Because Johnny Sack says the only thing they know about the guy that killed Peeps was that he had a limp.
That's right.
And
yes.
then Tony goes,
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck, no.
Yep. There it is. Yes.
And do you think...
Now I remember.
Do you think from that point on that Tony knew, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, absolutely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Tony Blundetto gets robbed and the guy fucking steps on his foot and then goes whoop, 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 whoop. Just like pokes him in the eyes, hits him with a fucking whoopee cushion.
No, you're right.
You know? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, no, you're right. You're right. It's not, no.
It's comical.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're talking about the murder of Peeps, though, and I don't think at first on the golf course, Tony Soprano's the only person that knows it was Tony.
Yes,
on the golf course.
Yes,
and before they get to the funeral, they're talking about the murder, they're talking about the murder before they get to the funeral, and Paulie gets angry. Again, we were talking about Paulie last week and the comedy. He gets angry at little Paulie for stealing his punchline.
Yes.
He says, they said something like they shot Peep's brains all over the car, and then Paulie says, it couldn't have been that much, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then little Paulie says something about, there was silicone all over from shooting a stripper.
Yeah.
And Paulie goes, Dad, why would you do that? You rolled all over my punchline.
I know.
And it's just the trivial nature that they're handling this with.
I would love to see all these guys on a podcast. You know?
So Paulie and Little Paulie's secret podcast.
Yeah. And then, the construction crew has their own podcast.
Yeah.
Just buzzing balls for fun.
Yeah. Carm and Rosalie have Trash Tuesdays.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So they're cracking jokes,
Yeah.
And then Tony.
Take note.
Tony walks in.
BS.
Tony B walks in.
Yes.
And they go, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And that's when Tony Soprano confronts Tony B outside of Satriali's. And I think even as Tony B at first denies it. But then he doesn't really deny it. No. Like, he goes, no, I didn't. And even if I did.
Would you want to know?
Yeah. Do you think that he's doing that because he doesn't care? Or do you think he's doing that because he knows that Tony knows? It's like, there's nothing he can say.
Again, so much more said that's not said.
Yes.
They're speaking a language only they can understand through the silence and the things that are not mentioned.
Yes. And that's when Tony.
Just like eventually they got to, get rid of a can of fruit because it might be spoiled.
Yeah. So, that's when Tony decides to not only turn the other cheek, but I feel like almost without saying it, take some blame himself. Like, I think that Tony B is the only person he'll do this for. But Tony responds in a way that's understanding. He's not angry anymore. He's understanding.
Not only that, but he offers him more work.
And he offers him, pretty much a promotion.
Up the books.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, Tony B, good move.
Yeah. Which, almost goes back to the card game that Tony as a kid robbed. And it's like, no, that's a terribly dangerous move. Well, in the right context, that turned out to be a very good move for Tony.
Yeah.
It interests me that Tony and he's done this before, where like he's like, no, this is my person. Do you think Tony feels guilty? Do you think this all goes back?
Yes, because Tony feels guilty, and Tony knows that if he had helped fucking Tony B out, he wouldn't have had to go kill someone for New York.
But also in this conversation between the Tonys, Tony B says, yeah, it doesn't bother me. You're the one who keeps bringing it up. That's horseshit. That's a lie.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally. Again, these people can't have normal conversations.
Right.
Tony can't call and go,
Right.
hey, I'm at my spot. My marriage is disintegrated. You were my best friend growing up. Do you just want to hang out? He can't do that.
No.
Tony Blundetto can't go, yeah, man, fuck you. You left me.
Yeah. You can't have an adult sleepover.
I love adult sleepovers.
You do?
They're the best.
That's a big Delaware Italian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one recently. I forget with who. Anyway.
So then they was it the band?
Weekend.
Was it
the band, yes, Catbite.
Catbite?
Also, shout out Stugatz.
Hey.
One of the guys from Catbite was in a band with someone I became friends with years ago, and their first band name was Stugatz.
I love that. Same name as Tony's boat.
Yes, that's why they named it.
That's beautiful.
I've got stickers that say Stugatz, and I'll bring them.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. So we get to the funeral now. And
I mean, this funeral's a fucking shit show.
Well,
first of all, can I just say
it.
I was so surprised to not see Father and Tintola giving the eulogy, you know?
Well, I think that's because this is the only reason it's because it's New York.
New York?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tintola, he's the Jersey guy.
Yeah, and he's off somewhere jerking off over a bowl of pasta.
Yeah. He's trying to have sex with Rosalia Priel's lasagna.
Yeah. Oh, the ricotta.
But yeah, so first of all, the tombstone says Peeps on it.
How disrespectful can you get?
It's a nickname.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, but Syl blames it on the guy whose assignment...
He's dyslexic? He still didn't spell nothing wrong.
What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
He's dyslexic.
Was he Phil Hanley?
Is Phil Hanley dyslexic?
Yeah.
That's great.
He's so funny. He has so many good dyslexic jokes. I don't know how he writes them down, but he's got them.
He's got him. He's got him up here. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says Peeps on the tombstone. And so on the way out, Johnny Sack is furious.
Dude.
Furious. And Tony thinks it's because the tombstone says Peeps. We could get a new tombstone. We got to replace that.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, asshole. I'm not furious about the tombstone. I'm furious because it was Tony B. It was your cousin that did this.
Can I tell you what scared the shit out of me?
The Ring, that movie, The Ring?
It did. I was at an adult sleepover when that was playing, and I woke up my friend's family because I screamed so loud. So what scared the shit out of me was Tony goes off on this fantastical journey of giving an alibi to fucking Johnny Sack with Tony Blundetto. He brings up Tony Blundetto's daughter and like this whole fucking thing, and he goes, and I was going to go to you to ask you, and I'm being... What's he say? He goes, he doesn't say vulnerable. He says like, I'm humbling myself to tell you this on a lie. And then I truly thought Johnny Sack was going to go up to Tony B and go, where were you the other night? How was upstate? You find your daughter? I thought that's how it was going to go down.
What did you think of Tony Soprano covering for him?
I mean, God bless. You gotta cover for your friends. You never rat on your friends, no matter what.
Yeah, it's a choice, though. It's a choice.
What do you mean?
Meaning you could either go like, look, dude, that wasn't my assignment you were on. Now, Tony's
a part of it.
Tony's a part of it.
And now. I wonder if Tony is a part of it because he feels like he let him down on that heist.
And now he's like, I gotta have his back.
Yeah. Which is like a weird loyalty thing for Tony because he's loyal to no one.
Well, it's biting Tony Soprano on two cheeks, on both of his butt cheeks. On one butt cheek, you got that little piranha, Johnny Sack, hanging off. And on the other butt cheek, we see for the first time in a couple episodes, Christopher Moltisanti.
Yes.
Christopher is furious.
Yeah.
Furious
because Tony Blundetto is getting shit.
Yeah. Because Tony
he used to be the favorite cousin. He used to be the golden goose.
He was the heir apparent.
And apparently, there's a new heir.
Heir apparently. So, nice. Thank you, man. So, Tony, in his quest to make everything right with Tony B, is forgetting about Christopher. It seems like Tony Soprano has this one-track mind where he's like, okay, I'll make things right over here. Yeah. And he has no thought of the overwhelming
ripple effects
it's going to have on everything else.
He's fucking bragging to Melfi like, I took care of a guy at work today. He's got an IQ of 158. Now, I've taken this test. This is very smart.
Yeah. Melfi's like, the number impress you? And he's like, I think you're pretty stupid if you don't like the number.
Yeah, I think it impresses me that it's pissing you off.
It was a weird visit to Melfi.
Yeah.
Very ego-trippy.
And then he just, and again, like, I go back to this honesty thing. When he starts flipping out, he can't even express himself without this coded language of what his feelings are. So it's wrapped in all these layers of like it just sucks that like Tony can't be truly vulnerable and honest with any single person in his entire life. And that is the cornerstone of a friendship or relationship. Being a fucking human walking this earth is finding, that is intimacy. Intimacy is sharing your reality with someone without judgment. Intimacy isn't just eye contact during sex or while you're peeing. It's
you're supposed to eye contact and pee?
Yeah, that's like an intimate thing.
That's like a serial killer thing. That's like Henry Lee
Lucas.
Well,
you got to make eye contact so you can aim in their mouth. Anyway, I was channeling by Norton. No, but like that is true intimacy. Intimacy is sharing your reality with someone else without fear of judgment or condemnation. And Tony cannot do that to anyone. Tony has no level of intimacy with anyone in his life. He has no level of full trust with abandon. Or without abandon. Without abandon.
Without abandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, again, like Melfi, this is supposed to be his space to be open and honest, and he can't even tell the fucking truth until later when he does start to scratch the surface and we see him have a full-blown fucking panic attack.
On a golf course? Or you mean later?
Later.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I mean, here's what I found interesting. Christopher, when he's complaining about all this to Adriana, who, by the way, also has to make a phone call.
Dude, what the fuck is that? Why does she call her, and then why did they show the scene of her? Oh yeah, they show the FBI chick and the daughter, and then Aid calls. She's like, hello? What the fuck? Why is she doing that?
Why is she calling the FBI agent?
Yeah.
She's still on the thing.
Yeah, but is she gonna rat on Christopher going upstate?
I don't know. What can I tell you?
Oh, you know.
She would,
because it's my Prima Volta. You're not gonna fucking, But they gotta go take care of the canned fruit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works out.
There's a lot of canned fruit up there.
But what I found interesting was that when Christopher's complaining, he goes, now this guy is talking about getting a maid. He said that about Tony Blundetto. That Tony Blundetto's got the casino. Now he's talking about getting a maid. He's living like this. He's living like that.
No perspective.
One episode ago, Tony B was saying the exact same thing about Tony Soprano. When Tony B was at Tony Soprano's house, he was looking at the house. Oh, it's a nice house. When Tony Soprano, one episode ago, was talking about the fact that he needed to tighten his belt because he was going through a divorce, he was giving him this look, like the whole conflict that Tony B had with Tony Soprano was about the fact that Tony Soprano had so much more money than he did. Went down to the kids. Now we go to Christopher. One episode later, as soon as things get good for Tony B, one level down, Christopher is making the same complaints about Tony Blundetto. And you almost want to go like, hey, if you could then go back in time, you go to Tony B, who's sitting there complaining about Tony Soprano, go like, hey, what if I told you that the people right under you have the same complaints that you have about the people over you? Would that tell you that maybe this is a never-ending cycle and you will never be satiated?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right about that. I thought it was more like, hey, pal, perspective. Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah,
These are champagne problems. You were sitting in a jail cell a while ago. Just like when Christopher says the thing to Tony B about like, this, look at this guy, he's got it, or whatever. It's like, you're talking to a guy that's been out in jail for like a year. Like,
right.
And he just beat up his poor Asian boss and faced no consequences. This guy's pretty fucking lucky.
Yeah. All right, so let's
do any of these people ever truly become happy?
Do they live lives?
Anyone on this show ever happy for once?
Let me ask you this. Do they live lives that would lead to happiness?
I like shooting guns. These guys get to shoot guns all the time.
They do it in a safe environment?
No, and they probably don't have good trigger discipline.
Do you?
Yes.
Because you're the fucking man, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
You're so cool.
Maybe they need to stop shooting the guns at people and shoot it at targets that look like people. They'll get happy.
So this is the other story of the episode. It goes back to, wait, let's go back to what you were said about last week.
What?
Carm is talking to her girlfriend.
Yes.
And she's like, "Wow, Tony and me, in and out, P&V,
And you know what? Who blames Carm for that?
I don't. I'm just saying that what she was
Tony
doing.
swooped in like the fucking scorpion and hopped on the back of the frog and stung it.
No, they were both trying to have some passionate lovemaking.
Yeah, and Tony fucked it up.
Well, look.
It's not all about P&V, Tony.
For Tony, it is. Tony's a P&V guy.
Tony needs to have
Tony
a
loves
little
putting P&V.
C and K.
Okay.
Cuddle and kissing.
That's so nice. Carm goes, I don't. She goes, are you getting back together? And Carm goes, I don't know, but he's dropping off AJ later today. Drops him off and bounces.
What a fucking dickhead.
But he didn't know that Carm was waiting.
How do you not know? How do you not make the effort? How do you not just go, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Really enjoyed the other night.
He doesn't have the emotional education. He's not an empathetic person.
I'm glad you said that because I think that means I'm empathetic, and sometimes I question if I have empathy or not because this business has turned me into a husk of a human, but I'm pretty glad that you just said that, so thank you.
You have a good mustache.
In my heart, in my spirit.
And your lip. Ooh, that was gross, dude. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So she gets pissed, and she's like, well, if this dude is just going to like put his P in my V and then bounce, I'm going to divorce him for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And she calls a divorce lawyer.
Oh, dude.
And then, classic Tony Soprano. I like this move. That Tony has called, like...
every divorce lawyer in town, meaning that she can't work with any of them.
Right.
And then, the second the one she does find that can work with her says the name of the person she's representing and going against, and everyone drops her like a fucking hot potato.
Right. Then she tells Tony... what do you think of that move?
What?
Talking to all the lawyers.
Tony doing that?
Tony doing that.
I mean, that's...
don't you kind of have to do that?
That's incredibly smart.
Yeah, I would do.
Dudes rule.
Yeah. Bros.
But I will say...
go ahead.
Man, is that so sad for Carm.
Sucks.
Because she is trapped like a Hasidic woman in a marriage she doesn't want to be in.
It's tough.
Because in Hasidism, if a woman tries to leave, literally the Hasidic mafia comes by and will smash a place up with hammers and use intimidation to make it that they can't leave. And this woman is now trapped in a life she doesn't want to live.
You know what was creepy to me? When Tony was sitting there with Dr. Melfi and he was like, yeah, sex with Carm. And then he goes like this. This is the word he uses. It was very erotic. It's just
yeah. That was like the verbal equivalent of that old lady shaking her tits and dancing. It was so gross.
Just the cringe of
but
it all.
But then at the same time, he's using that to try to get in Melfi's pants
100%.
Yet again.
100%. He was only telling her to try to... he was trying to turn her on.
Yeah.
By talking to her about having sex with his wife.
And using the word erotic.
Erotic.
Oh, fucking Tony. Christ.
I could write erotic fiction.
But I will say, dude, again, we mentioned it before, but Artie, fucking King Artie, dude, at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Just coming over, so excited, getting thrown back. Coming over again, getting thrown back, and he's just taking it. I hope you brought your appetite. Get the fuck out of here.
Perfect, right?
What can I get you? Go stand in your little corner. And then he gets up and leaves and goes, she's ready to order, and then walks out. Fucking great.
Yeah, Tony's mad when he finds out that Carm's going to do the divorce anyway.
Oh, he loses it.
Loses his mind. He thought he had everything under control. He probably thought that D was so good that Carm was like, okay, that's going to satiate me for quite a while.
The D's only half the battle. You got to add some E and L. Emotion and love.
You need the L. L's important.
Dude, L's important or else you're going to take an L.
Loss.
Yep.
Loss of
and
an
it's
L
better
of L.
to have L'd and L'd than never L'd at all.
Yeah, and if you don't think so, go F yourself.
And go to L.
Nice. HE double hockey sticks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into the story of all stories. This is a moment that I think that a lot of the Prima Volta fans have been waiting for. This is a moment that we've been waiting to discuss. This is one of the only two things that you knew was coming in some way, shape, or form, but you didn't know.
Something was coming, all right.
Did you expect it?
No.
No. Good.
Do you know what I expected? First of all, I like Finn.
Phineas!
I wanted him. Who's that hot Latina?
Oh.
At the job site. Who is that?
We talking about Felicia.
Yeah, who is that?
She's a girl at the job site.
Who's she related to or whatever?
I don't know if she's
Why
related.
Is she there?
She works there. She's like the...
God, she's so fucking hot. When he's looking at the thong, and I'm like, damn, I bet that thong don't fucking nag. Like Meadow.
Oh.
So, dude, I will say... They like Finn because he's honest.
Phineas.
And again, like Paulie pulling up and be like, there's dog shit all over the place. Hey, what do you say? Here, take this. Take Meadow and say it's from Uncle Paulie. You know, like he has this level of respect because he's banging a soprano.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a level of respect. It's nepotism for
Yeah.
sure.
And fear. Not
And
even
fear.
respect.
Yeah,
it's fear. And
but before we get there, it all starts with Finn trying to pay for dinner.
yeah.
And Tony losing it on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like a little... Then it's like... Then they go... they're trying to figure out what to do with their lives, how to make money. Finn's graduated. What's he going to do?
Yeah. The air conditioner doesn't work.
It's so hot. They're in New York.
Yeah.
Meadow says you're going to have to take the PATH train. But my dad got you a job at construction site.
$20 an hour.
And he was like, that's great, but I've never worked construction.
Yeah.
Gosh, oh golly.
Yeah.
You know, and then he gets there. And yeah, I mean, it's one of the great scenes when Paulie is like just being an asshole.
Oh, dude.
And then finds out.
He rushes over,
Why
gives
did
him
you
the
tell
money.
me?
Yeah.
Make sure you tell her, Uncle Paulie.
Yeah.
Which, isn't it even worse that he, like, I've never heard him refer to himself as Uncle Paulie. There's just something way worse about that.
But it's so funny, though, that, like, dude, these have been Tony's ride or dies for, like, their entire life, and they still are kissing his ass.
Yeah.
And still, like, you know, it's like, yes, everything they have is because of Tony, but at what point do they become friends and, like, just chill and be regular guys?
Well,
I mean, maybe one of them can branch off on their own and have, like, a career at something they're supposed to be proficient in, but probably not.
I don't know what these guys are proficient in, to tell you the truth. You know, yeah, I think that there's a lot of kissing the ring. That's where literally the phrase "kiss the ring" comes from the mafia. Like, that's where it comes.
Really?
Doesn't it?
I thought it came from, like, Old English, like, king and queen stuff.
Well, they do it in the mafia.
Well, yeah.
Then in the Godfather,
why do you think I got all these rings? Just waiting for someone to kiss them.
For me to kiss. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It says I'm never kissing a ring that says ska.
All right. Well, what about a turquoise ring?
No, I'm not doing that one.
All right. Well,
I'm not doing that one. No.
You're gonna die.
No.
Anyway.
Okay. But do you worry at all? Okay. All right.
Worry all about what?
Well, we're sitting here.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that clearly he and Meadow are serious. People are recognizing him as Meadow's significant other.
Oh, dude,
he's kicking it with Felicia.
Yo. Okay. Two thoughts.
Go ahead.
Ready? One, when he sees them have this like roast battle session and the one guy just gets up and beats the piss out of the other guy.
Well, that's, Eugene breaks the beer bottle over little Paulie's head.
Insane.
Because he made a gay joke.
Yeah.
That was one step. You could make fun of the women. This one, was, girl with a mustache.
Yeah.
This girl was so ugly.
You getting fucked.
And then he slammed. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah. So Finn goes home, talks to Meadow.
Phineas.
And Meadow really gets this like change of tone to defend this behavior in like a analytical, woke, astute way of like, no, not woke, just like literally like she turns and is like a defender of the mafia.
Yeah. And it actually gives you a hint that she'll probably be a very good lawyer because she's able to take these arguments on.
Yeah.
And
also it's nice, like at the end of the day, she is loyal to her capo.
Yeah, her dad.
She's loyal to her dad. She's defending the family. I really love that.
Which goes back to when she's a little kid or, younger. And even though she's been critical of Tony when she's in high school.
Yeah.
And they're at, I think it was Jackie Jr.'s funeral.
Yeah.
Remember? Sister, and she's like, I can't believe you would talk like this around an outsider.
Yeah. I love that.
There it is.
I love that about
She's
Meadow.
down. Meadow's down. Meadow's down for sure.
I love that. And then, he goes back to work and he's like, quite frankly, since yesterday, I've been afraid and I don't know what to tell you. And they're like, hey, we like this kid. He's honest. Sit down. And at that moment, I thought, oh shit, are they pulling him into their web?
Well, are they?
Is Finn going to be, start to be a knockaround guy?
Well, I mean, look, they do give him a taste of the good life after that. They're like, dude, you can relax.
But
hey, that's right, because that's where they say, take a nap.
Take a nap. Yeah.
Which also goes back to the question that you had weeks ago, which was, explain to me what's a no-show or a no-work job. Those are the no-work jobs.
Yeah. There it is.
That's the no-work.
So that was my one thought, that Phineas was going to, turn and become like a fucking, get poisoned by the mafia lifestyle, whatever. Kind of like what was going to happen to Brian, My second thought was that Phineas was going to start fucking Felicia. And I was hoping for that.
You want to see that?
Because, woo, she a hot tamale. Matter of fact. What?
Yeah. Don't both those scenarios end really ugly for Finn?
We're not there yet.
Okay.
So, we can't think that far ahead. You just got to go for what tastes good at the time. Don't worry about the calorie intake.
Always the best strategy.
Feels good in the mouth. Yeah. So, I thought when Finn left the beach, he was going to go to the trailer, and because he goes, Felicia told me where the key is or whatever. He was going to go to the trailer. Felicia was going to be there, and they were going to hook up.
You thought somebody was going to be getting a beach. You just didn't know who.
Brother, not a clue. I knew Vito was a little
just from people talking about it outside the show.
Yes, and whatever. But I didn't know how it was going to be released into the wild. I didn't know how it was going to play out in the show. I didn't know how he was going to be found out. I knew none of that.
How did you feel when Vito's head pops up?
Bro, I have never related to the show more. Wild. My very first thought, because I've been in that scenario before, is why the fuck did he raise his head up? You keep your fucking head down, dog.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to slide back to your seat.
Yeah, you stay with your head down until your buddy drives the car away, and then you pop your head up and go, okay, where's the next spot?
So Vito pops his head up.
Crazy.
When Vito pops his head up,
yeah,
you must have a new set of fears for Finn. Or no?
I didn't know what was going to happen. And then the porta potty scene was quite scary.
One of the scarier scenes in the show.
Well, it's scary because you don't know. Now you already know that Vito's a killer. You already know that Vito is a guy that can take care of shit. But now this other part of him is revealed where he's a gay man. And it's like, whoa, is he hitting on Finn? Or is he fucking, threatening him? And again, it goes back to the fact that these people cannot communicate at a base level. He cannot say, listen, you got to forget what you saw or I'll fucking kill you.
Right.
Which is a great way to communicate.
Because he can't admit to anything.
That's the thing. And it's like, man, that really sucks. And I made the joke before about like, I've never related to the show more, but that is a very relatable thing, of that fear of being found out for this very secret and detrimental to your social standing secret life that you have.
And here's the genius of the show. It's beyond detrimental. We found out on this episode that even joking about that ends with getting a beer bottle smashed over your face.
And these guys
scene,
don't even eat pussy.
No.
So imagine.
It almost started an entire mafia war.
Yeah. Overeating pussy. Imagine what they find out if they're eating the old sajol.
But that's what I mean about like how you would think that maybe that scene with the beer bottle being smashed was just put in because it's an entertaining scene and because they needed to get Finn scared.
No, it's chess.
But it was put in to set up for the fact that we all now know exactly how bad it is for Vito to get found out.
But then it's like, okay, cool. That was obviously a plot device, but is every episode prior about like gay shit planting that seed?
Well, I don't know that they planned from the beginning to have a gay character, but I'm sure that was like that's something thematically that we want there. Because we want.
Well, they've already built a foundation of people being homophobic on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
you know, which is like wildly reflective of that time and these people.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
Just like in a way, like, dude, that just grounds these characters in reality even more because, you know, like homophobia is so fucking rampant. And I don't know if it's a fear of, I hate the word homophobic, transphobic. Because it's like no one's afraid of these people. It's just outward hatred.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like bigoted and outdated and everything, but it's very, very real. And I'm excited to see how they navigate this, you know? I will say I was very mad at Finn.
What were you mad at him about?
That he didn't go to the game.
The Yankee game?
Yeah. He should have gone to the game with Vito because also Vito's in a spot of like, nobody knows about this. Finn is smart. He seems like he's kind of like a fucking good guy, understanding. Maybe he can be my ally and be like,
unless you're going to kill him.
Look, man, I got it. You're the only person I can talk to about this.
Unless he's going to kill Finn.
Yeah, but you got to go to find out what's going to happen.
Meet me under the bat.
Do you think he was going to kill him, or do you think he was going to buddy up to him and try to give him sucky?
I don't think he'd made his mind up. Vito's got a weird serial killer vibe to him. Vito's got like a Jeffrey Dahmer vibe to him. Vito doesn't have a mob.
I forget that Vito's a tough guy because he's such a, you know, cuddly fat beanbag chair of a man.
Right. And you saw him in the car and you're like,
I
didn't know he was such a giver.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for Veets.
Thought people usually sit on the beanbag and stick their dick in it.
Yeah, look, I think I don't know, but I do think it's interesting that it led to him proposing to Meadow.
Yeah, well, that whole fucking thing, it's like, you know, we talk about how smart and, you know, how great Meadow is at defending her family and everything. She just goes straight into fucking girl mode of just not even being able to have a rational conversation without jumping to conclusions, yelling, getting upset, taking offense to everything without letting him explain, not taking into account that he's fucking exhausted, that he literally is going through a thing where he's fearing for his life because of what she probably is taking for granted, that this guy's never dealt with the fucking mafia before. He saw a guy in an incriminating situation and now his life is on the line and Meadow's not even thinking about anyone but herself like every stupid fucking bitch girl does.
That hasn't been my experience.
On the show.
Oh, like Janice?
Yeah.
I think, but I think that also, I think part of it is that if Meadow admits to like, yeah, you're going through a real hard time, then she has to admit to a lot of the behaviors of her family that she doesn't want to admit to. There's a reality there that Meadow doesn't want to exist in.
Yeah, but Meadow literally acknowledged that reaction when she brought up the old country and how they had to fight to take up for each other and justice.
She brought up that reaction from like a sky's view. Not from a close-up.
Especially the fact that she's dealing in the law as a criminal defense attorney, you don't think that she can understand and connect the dots, how this is like witness intimidation? And
I don't think that on an emotional level, she wants to connect all those crimes. I don't think she wants to connect the reality of her family together on an emotional level, because you can't.
Yeah, but that doesn't even have anything to do with the family. It has to do with a man and his secret life. And this could, a man who's keeping that a secret, being found out, could be driven to murder, and they're not even involved in the mafia.
No, but it's specifically a problem here.
Right.
Because of the family business.
Well, if she wants him in the family, she's going to have to take a fucking leap.
But you know that she doesn't want to vocally, outwardly admit that. She's never done it. She's never.
So instead, she picks a fight with him over some arbitrary thing?
Yeah.
Like, she can't understand that he's living in fear, scared. He's going to go into his own version of witness protection. She has to make it about her?
Because because in her world, there's nothing to be afraid of. Because if there is something to be afraid of, she cannot morally justify her existence.
Isn't Meadow the one on the show that's able to navigate different worlds of understanding? Like, isn't that part of the reason why she gets into law, so that she can help people that her family would have, affected?
She's never come to terms with the morality of what her family does.
Mm-hmm.
Never. She can talk about things with a bird's eye view, and she can talk about systematic problems, but she has never come to terms with what her father actually does, with what her family business actually is.
But she knows.
I know, and she's justified it. She's done the opposite of coming to terms with it. She's justified it.
So she can't justify Finn's actions and reaction to this very real situation?
No, because if she acknowledges his fears as legitimate, then she's acknowledging all the bad parts of what her family does, and then she has.
But she already did the night before dinner when they were talking about these guys being violent.
But she did it.
She takes up for them.
She defended it in a way that allowed it, again, from that bird's eye perspective. Like, she didn't justify specific actions, because you can't, because morally they're wrong. And she is the moral compass, but has never come to terms with the fact that morally what her family is doing is wrong.
I still think she can come at it from a place of empathy and understanding. She was had her head shoved too far up her own ass. And it has nothing to do with the fucking mafia.
That's possible. What do you think of Finn proposing?
I mean, what a get out of jail free card that was.
Totally.
Jesus Christ.
Totally.
What?
Fine.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was literally a fucking Hail Mary to make her shut up. That was just like.
Do you think any of it is Finn needing more protection and going like, whoa, if we're engaged?
Oh shit.
Like,
I didn't think of that till right now.
What do you think?
That's the thing too. Vito can't do shit to Finn because Finn is Tony's daughter's guy.
And soon to be, well, maybe if it's just a boyfriend, especially if that relationship is on the rocks, right? Because they're fighting a lot.
Right.
But if they're engaged and that's your future.
He's untouchable.
Boom. Do you think?
But is he not untouchable as her boyfriend anyway? Because he's still in the family, so to speak?
You're going to love this.
What?
The conversation that he had with Felicia on this episode.
Uh-huh.
I'm basically married to her. I live with her. Nope. There's a big difference between being married and living with somebody.
Oh, it's like that ring is
She says, ask anybody who's married. You know, being married and living with somebody is not the same thing at all. And I think that goes right back to what they plant seeds. I think that seed was planted to say Finn has to get married in his mind to Meadow because he's realizing like, oh shit,
right?
We just live together. We're in the middle of this fight. We could break up at any moment.
And I could die.
Boom.
Wow.
Maybe. That's my, I don't think that conversation about,
well,
because on the surface, that conversation of living with a girl and being married to a girl is two different things. On the surface, that's like, oh, they're trying to fuck, right? Like on the surface, that's like,
yeah, that's why I thought he's like, I might as well go to work early.
But on a deeper level, that is an implant to tell us, hey, he needs to be married to her if he wants to be untouchable, because he's just living with her, and that ain't the same thing, dog.
Wow.
You think there's something to that?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And the ring's not on her finger yet. He can still go to Felicia Town.
No, I don't think that's what it's about. I think Felicia was a different
one-way ticket to Felicia Town.
Look, I think if you're worried about Vito killing
I'm gonna stop off at Thong Village.
Would you look as strong as that thong is?
Woo!
And that's thong song era thong. Woo! Like that's early 2000s thong.
Woo!
I have to believe
that the tramp stamp is going away. The new tramp stamp is a million little tattoos on the fingers and hands.
Yep. I have to believe that now in this moment would be the single you don't have to check your watch, not literally this moment. I mean, on the show, would be the single worst time for Phineas to cheat on Meadow. I think he could probably use as much stability in that relationship as possible, because on accident, he caught one of the mafia guys doing man-on-man sex with the mouth.
Uh-huh.
So
wow, I've never heard someone take something so hot and sexual and make it so gross sounding. Man-on-man sex with dumb mouth.
I'd be a good biology teacher.
Yeah. Well, I think Phineas should go for it. I think he should throw caution to the wind, live his best life.
Yeah, hook up with Vito while you're at it. Why not?
Get your cock rocked by Vito and fucking eating Felicia's pussy. That's what I call a layered piece of lasagna.
Where do you think he goes? Where do you think he goes with Finn?
I don't know.
Where do you think he goes with Vito? Where do you think he goes with Felicia?
Tony? Okay, cool. Wait, see, I can't do where do I think. Where do I want?
Where do you want?
I want Finn and Vito to be friends. Vito opens up. Finn is a confidant and helps Vito come to terms with who he is and not feel so much shame and anger behind it.
And then once he does that, does the mafia accept Vito for who he is?
Oh, you can't tell the mafia.
We'll keep this between Vito and
yeah. And it's like Corrado was eating pussy. He just can't let his friends know.
Don't forget, you now have to keep this from two families, because this is all going on simultaneously with your other thing that you would like to happen, which is the two Tonys control both New York and New Jersey simultaneously.
Yes.
So that's a big secret now.
Yes. And then because I hang out with the two Tonys in New York and everything, I then get a job funneling boys to Vito. Like a Ghislaine Maxwell of the
mafia,
of the mafia.
Yeah, Newark's Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put the jizz in Ghislaine.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do.
And I will say, and then we got to wrap up. God, how fucking powerful again is this end of the episode where Meadow calls her mom and says I'm engaged, and they're both crying for different reasons, and then she looks out and sees fat whale Tony throwing water on himself like a fucking beached whale, and she and also, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a shot of her through the window pane, and that's like,
talk about window pane,
jail cell bars.
Boom. I get it. I'm there. I'm with you on that. Well, I'll tell you what, if you got comments on some of the dope bombs that we were dropping, leave it in them comment-tories.
Yes.
They're right below the video, so go ahead and leave a comment-tory. We appreciate you doing that. Don't forget to hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be here with you most Sundays for Sunday dinner.
Yes.
Prima Volta style.
And thanks again for coming out to Hilarities in Cleveland, July 22nd, July 23rd, August 11th, Laugh Boston, 12th to 13th, Creek in the Cave, Austin, 18th to 20th, San Diego, American Comedy Company, brother.
We'll see you next time. For me, it'll be a multi-volta. For Ian, it'll be his
a Prima Volta. You know what would be a fun thing to do? Is if at the end of every episode, we like reenact a scene from the episode we just saw. Let's start today and do the Vito construction guy scene. You be Vito.